I am turning 25 next year and I am trying to do it big, like Greece big. I have a little bit over 6 months to prepare, plan, and execute my dream birthday trip. This is the start of a new series where I will be planning my entire trip from start to finish. And this series is supposed to help me to better plan, prepare, and execute this trip in a much more structured and strategic manner. So I am excited to be taking you along with me so that we can execute and plan this trip together. Now, in this series, I will be sharing everything from how I choose my flights, my destinations, my excursions, the places that I'm staying, the budget, literally every single thing that has to be planned for this trip. You will be a key decision maker in helping me to plan that. I will be asking for feedback at every single point in this series. If you're new here, if this is your first time seeing my beautiful face, hello, my name is Stephanie. I am a personal development, travel, and lifestyle content creator, and you can call me StephaNena if you have decided to click on this video and to join the fam. Now, like I said, today's video is the start of a series, but I love to create content so that you can be living and feeling like you're living your best life. So I would appreciate having you as part of the family. And if you have been watching my recent videos, you know that one of my goals is to be at 1,000 subscribers by the end of this quarter. So do me a favor, friend, and hit that red button down below to subscribe to my channel so that we can keep growing and glowing all year, all life long. If you do feel like this video / series is valuable to you, or it might be valuable to others, do me a favor and also hit that like button, because that is going to suggest to the algorithm that this is a good video for others to watch as well, who are also in the midst of planning maybe not a birthday trip, but just trips in general. Because during this series, I will be using firsthand my travel guide to help me to plan this trip a lot better. So maybe they can use that as a resource as well to help them plan their trips. And if you're curious about the travel guide that I'm referring to, feel free to check out my Stan store, which is in the description below. And that will take you to your global getaway guide, which is my ultimate travel guide that is for all travelers, ranging from road trips to cross country to out the country, literally whatever trip you're planning on booking. This is going to help you plan and prepare for that trip a lot better. Now, let's go ahead and get into the first part of this series, which is just me explaining basically what we're doing, okay? Why Greece, huh? So to be honest, I have always imagined Greece as a bucket list destination, for lack of a better term, because I just remember in high school, one of my dear friends, Emily, she sat me down and like asked, just like a lot of people do now, ask me what movies that I have seen and haven't seen. And it was really fun for us to just like go ahead and sit down and go through all the movies. And we started watching movies like Dirty Dancing all the way to Mamma Mia, of course. And right around the time that we were watching Mamma Mia, that is when Mamma Mia Here We Go Again came out, which was in 2018. So it was like perfect timing for me to have seen that for the first time. And then we went to theaters to go see the new, I guess the sequel. I don't know if that was supposed to be like a Mamma Mia 2 or if that was just like a little prequel film. But at the end of the day, it happened in perfect timing for us to have watched that movie very recently. And then boom, oh, all of a sudden here's another film coming out. So we went to go see that too. And just watching those films and like learning about Greek mythology and ancient history and things like that has literally put Greece on my list for a very, very, very long time. And I have always really loved Europe. I mean, I love all the continents, to be honest. I love Asia. I love South America. I love Africa, of course. I mean, Australia, definitely. But I just felt like I've done some countries in Europe, and every single time that I go, I'm always like, I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Greece. So Greece has just definitely been at the top of my list. And what better time to go to Greece than when you're turning a quarter century old. So I am planning on doing Greece for literally that exact reason. I really feel like 25 is a perfect time to check something off the bucket list. It is no time to play it small, in my opinion. For me, 25 is either go big or go home. And it's also a reason for me to just celebrate myself and everything that I would have accomplished thus far. And even everything that I'm accomplishing now, future me is definitely going to be really happy that I decided to sit down and plan this trip. I'm very into Greek mythology. I mean, I'm into everything ology, like astrology, mythology, the one about locations. I can't remember the name. Anyway, I'm very into history as well. As you guys know, if you've watched my series of like the top 5 things to do in different places, I promise you history is very important to me when I visit somewhere new. Like, I like to know the history of the culture. I like to know what's current in the culture, some of the current affairs and things like that, because I think that's so important as far as just paying your respects and learning about a culture before you go. Like, I would appreciate if somebody came to visit the US and they learned a couple of things before they came instead of just willy-nilly, you know? So I like to do unto others as I want others to do unto me. So that is why I really do appreciate learning a little bit of history before I go to places. And Greece is like one of the places that I've always just wanted to know more about. There's so much there. Like, it's just so much going on in Greece that it just truly feels like a place to really delve into world history, not just Greek history, if that makes sense. So what am I envisioning for this trip? I am already planning for it to be at least 7 to 10 days long. I'm leaning more towards 7 because I do plan on inviting a couple other people, and I want to be conscious of, you know, work schedules and things like that. But I'm also very much so like, this is your birthday trip. So not too much on other people, not too much emphasis on other people, because I know that I will be taking those 7 to 10 days off as I should. I'm going to be in a whole nother continent and I deserve it, so why not? I do want to be conscious of other people's schedules though, especially my man, because I want him to come with me as well. So we are planning for a 7-day trip. Now, I have a mix in my head of things that I want to do. So I want to do, like, of course, some adventurous things, and I also want to do some island hopping. I do want it to be a little bit relaxing, but I also want to do a little bit of exploration as well. So what I'm planning is, at the start of the trip, first 3 days is definitely exploration, adventurous. We're walking a lot, we're doing a lot of sightseeing, and that probably a huge part of that is going to be in Athens. I'm going to do a little bit more research to see where there's more history as well, like where the bulk of the history in Greece is, but that's going to be at the beginning of the trip because I want us to basically like hit the ground running, if that makes sense. And then towards the end of the trip, I do want to have a more relaxing feel, like we're not hopping islands every other day, we're more so just chilling by the beach with a drink, getting good food, walking around the town, but nothing crazy. So that is the idea and the vision that I have in my head. And I have created a Pinterest board, and I'm gonna like have it like on the side of the screen. So this Pinterest board literally is something that I sat down and did and just put in like pins of what I want my visuals to look like when I'm in my hotel or my Airbnb. What am I looking at? What kind of food am I eating? What am I wearing? That is a huge part on the Pinterest board as well, like what my outfits are gonna look like. Some of the excursions that we do. I also have some suggestions as far as what islands to go to as well. That is what the Pinterest board encompasses right now. However, I'm probably gonna keep adding to it. So what you'll see is probably not all that there's gonna be. So every video, I'll do a quick update to the Pinterest board. If there is any update to the Pinterest board, you guys will see that as well. And if you want to like follow me on Pinterest, you can. I'll add that in the description, but that is up to you, friend. Of course, I want to hit some of the classic spots like Santorini, Mykonos, Crete, Paros, Antiparos, Naxos, Athens. But honestly, like we have 7 days, right? So I don't know how much of that is possible, but of course I'm still figuring that out. And today is more of an intro of like taking you along. This is what we're planning. This is what the vision is for the trip. And step 1 in our first video, we're going to be going much more in depth into the travel vision, everything that I envision for this trip, even going even more in depth into the Pinterest board. And in my travel guide, I do have some travel reflection questions or my travel vision reflection worksheet. And before I even start filming, I'm going to fill that worksheet out and we're going to come together and discuss all of my answers as well to those. So that way we know better how to plan as far as, you know, budgeting, where to splurge and where not to splurge. I mean, we'll have a whole series on that. Like, do I splurge on accommodation or do I not splurge on accommodation? Do I splurge on transportation or do I not splurge on transportation? So that's going to be a little mini series within the series on things that I want to do within the budget, because Greece is a little expensive, not like to the point where it's not attainable, but the hardest part, of course, the most expensive part is just going to be flights getting over there. And I do anticipate us flying into maybe Athens and, you know, hitting that first, and then probably doing ferries to get from island to island. That'll be cheaper than taking a flight flight every single time for sure. And also probably would be a lot easier with luggage. And y'all, that's a whole nother ball game that I don't even want to talk about right now. Not yet. Not until we get to the pack section of this series. So we're gonna just stay focused on the vision, on the happy parts, right? So I really just want to emphasize just feeling free. When I think Greece, I think good vibes, I think good food. I love Mediterranean food and Greek food especially. I remember I just have always been drawn to like the Greek like salads. Oh my God, don't get me started on the Greek salad. Like the gyros are amazing. Falafel is cool. I think I need to have a falafel in Greece because all the falafel that I've had has just been dry. And I don't know if that's like a me thing or if that's just like the food, like that's what it is, but I'm not gonna judge too much. But look, I do love me some Greek cuisine though. So that's me saying that is just saying that I know for a fact that I'm going to love the food there. So that's not a problem. And I'm also looking forward to all the wine, of course. But I think it's just feeling free. I feel exploration when it comes to Greece, just being curious. I don't speak any Greek languages, so that is going to be something else that might be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm willing to work through that if they're willing to work through that. And everything that I've researched says that, everybody's really nice there. So of course I feel like, you come with respect, they're going to respect you. And that's just how it is. That's how it always is. Respect is a two-way street. That is kind of where I wanted to tie into for me. This is the early planning stages. So like I mentioned before, I do plan on at least a 7-day trip, 10 if I'm lucky, but 7 for sure. And I do want a mix of islands in there. I do not want to stay in the same place the whole time. So I do plan on for sure hitting Athens, for sure Santorini. I do want to try and hit Mykonos. Those are the 3 that I know for sure. Now, there's tons of other islands that I want to hit, but I know if I have 7 days, I probably won't have the most time or won't be able to make the most out of it. Like, yeah, I can go and say that I went, but am I really going to gain anything from that? So I want it to be a little bit more meaningful and thoughtful, of course, and me planning ahead is going to help that for sure. And my birthday is in April, so this is going to be a spring trip, and it might be like late winter for them, but I really think it's going to be early spring. It might not be beach season just yet, but they are coastal, so maybe, if you go to a tropical place, it's good all year round. So Greece might be like that. I need to do a little bit more research into seeing whether or not they are, but that's definitely something that I need to look into. But for sure, I'm planning at least 7 days in April, and I do plan to be there on my actual birthday, not before or after. Like, I want to be there before and after, but my actual birthday, I will be in Greece. I will not be flying in or leaving out. Like, we will be sitting down at a restaurant or something. Like, that is the goal. Of course, as far as budgeting goes, we looked at flights, and that was already at least $1,500, and that was round trip, to be fair. So that was round trip going there and back, but that could change. It is my birthday, so I am thinking of a splurge for the flight, but nothing too crazy, not like first class or anything, because I just think that I'm pretty sure it's like an 8-hour flight, which for me is not a very long flight. I can go to work for 8 hours, so I can for sure be on a flight for 8 hours. We were thinking probably just doing Comfort Plus instead of doing just regular economy, which only was up like $200 to $300, and I'm like, that's worth it. I mean, for the extra leg room on an 8-hour flight, I'll take that. So that is one of the places that I'm planning on splurging, but nothing crazy, y'all. Unless you look. Unless we got things happening for us in the next couple of months, but by the time we book these flights, like, that'll be at least 3 to 6 months out. So we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, I am going to be using my travel guide to help me plan this entire trip. So if throughout this series you're a little confused on what I'm talking about, I will be referencing your global getaway guide, which is in my Stan store right now. I will leave a promo code so that you can receive a little discount if you decide to buy while we're planning the series, and it'll be something tailored to Greece. So it might be like, I'll put it in the description. Apologies, y'all. My SD card ran out of storage randomly. I thought I was good to go, but I'm back. So I will be offering a promo code if you're following along for the series. So just stay tuned as to what that might be. That'll get released on the second video in this series with the travel vision. So that will be in the description. So make sure to check back. And I will also go ahead and just let you know, I'll do a special promo code for this first video. So if you want to go ahead and grab that travel guide so you can start planning along, maybe you're planning a trip for your birthday too, this will definitely help you. I'm really excited for you to be here. I'm really excited for you to be planning my birthday trip with me because of course you're going to be there as well, right? Through video, through film. Like I said before, we're going to be working through all things budget, all things vision, all things packing. Like what do our outfits look like? How are we going to be showing up? There's so many things that I just want this trip to be, and I do pray that that actually comes into fruition for me within the next couple of months. I have less than a year for sure. I will be using my own budgeting tools as well. As you guys know, I do have your Budget Like a Boss spreadsheet. Your Budget Like a Boss spreadsheet helps to keep track of your expenses. So this doesn't just help with trip planning. Honestly, this helps with everyday life. I use this for everyday life. Every single paycheck, I go in and I budget out what's going to what, such as car payments, groceries, literally like everything. How much I'm saving, how much I am putting towards travel, because I do, of course, want to save some of my income to go towards travel. I don't have a set number on how much I want to have saved up for this trip just yet, but when I do have that number, I of course will let you guys know. Hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later. That'll probably be us discussing that in the third video of this series, where we're going over budgeting and what kind of budget we are going to be using for the trip. So all of those things that I mentioned, such as your global getaway guide, as well as your Budget Like a Boss spreadsheet, are things that I'm going to be referencing throughout the series a lot. So if you do have any questions about that, leave that in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer that for you, especially if you're curious and you are looking to purchase that for yourself. Just let me know. If you have any questions, I would love to help you with navigating that. And like I said before, all those products are linked in my Stan store. They are digital products, so as soon as you buy, they get sent directly to your inbox. There are no surprises or anything like that. I find that they are extremely helpful, clearly because I'm about to be using this to plan on my trip, and hopefully that will help me to have a little bit more structure instead of just going from idea to execution. Like, it helps me to put idea, structure, execution, and things like that. I really want to know from you, if you have ever been to Greece before. First of all, I'm jealous, but second of all, what would you recommend? Truly, like, what would you recommend? What islands would you recommend that I visit? What's overrated? What's underrated? I want to know everything. What are some things that we don't need to go cheap on? Because I really just need to know from like an insider. Of course, I'm going to be doing my own research, and I'll be sharing those resources that I come across on my community tab. So make sure you're tapped into that when I do find some really good things. But from you, if you've been to Greece before, let me know. If you have also been dreaming of going to Greece and you've done some research, let me know that as well, because you might have seen something that I need to look a little bit deeper into, and that'll definitely, pique my interest as far as what to look and expect about Greece as well. So in the next episode of this series, I will be narrowing down all the islands that I plan to visit, as well as the exact time frame that I do have. And then we'll be going through the vision that I have for the trip as well. So breaking down my answers to that travel vision reflection worksheet, as well as the Pinterest board, kind of explaining that and going a little bit more in depth. My Pinterest is literally at StephaNena, like everything else on my socials. It's not .diaries, but it is at StephaNena. And if you would like to go ahead and tap into that, you most definitely can, queen. You are not off limits to that at all. Make sure to tap back into the channel to see the next video in this series. Like I said, where we'll be going over that travel vision. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that red bell for post notifications, so that way you can see when the next video does come up. It'll probably be in like a week or two from now. So just stay tuned. And if you do have any suggestions or anything like that, like I said, please leave that in the comments, friend. I really need that. Like, I really need that right now. Even if it's a TikTok that you saw, literally send it to me, post it in the community tab so that I can see it. Whatever works for you is going to work for me. Trust me. But other than that, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be planning my birthday trip with you. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you are excited just like I am. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of inspiration for you to be planning your birthday trip too. I'll be having to check to make sure that this mic is still on sometimes. That's like one of my worst fears. It's actually happened to me before, but it happened at the end. Like I was on the outro and I didn't notice until I was editing, and I was like, oh my God, the whole outro is just gone because the mic died, and it didn't even alert me or nothing. It didn't say nothing. It just died. So I'll just be having to check every now and then just to make sure. But this is the outro, clearly. And I appreciate you so much for tuning in. Like I said, make sure to hit that red button down below to subscribe and help my channel get to over 1,000 subscribers by the end of this quarter. I would love that. I would love to have you as part of the family. Hit that like button to suggest to the algorithm that this is a good video for others who are also planning a trip, not just to Greece, but just planning a trip in general, so that we can help share those resources that they might find useful as well. And other than that, friend, let me know, what are some things that I need to hit up in Greece from your research, from anything that you've heard before? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. I'd love to chat with you in the comment section. I will see you in the next one, friend. I love you so much. See you in the next one. Bye.